our guest, Scientist Chekube. On our next episode, we're not able to complete the topic due to network and rain and other things. So, welcome.
Okay, thank you so much, and thank you all guys for joining us today. We're going to be continuing our episode on the topic, the hidden bacteria you encounter every day. You and I encounter this particular bacteria every day of our life. Hope you can hear me.
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay. So last week, I'm going to just do a recap of what I talked about last week so that you follow suit with me. Last week, I told you that different bacterias. I asked a question. I asked why do you think some bacteria are spread through air, through body contact, through sexual contacts, and the other routes of transmission. And then the answer is just simple. The reason is because these bacteria, they have places where they inhabit, they have places where they work. It's just like okay, I can't remember a very good scenario, but if something clicks in my head, I'm going to let you know. So these particular bacteria, they have sites where they function very well. They have sites where they survive well. So they are going to look for roots. They are going to look for areas that will enable them to reach that particular place that they can survive, that particular place that is favorable to them. So that is why some of them through the nose because they are trying to reach the lung. They can survive in the lung, so they enter through the nose. Some of them they enter through sexual intercourse because they survive in the blood. Something like HIV, you can see them in the blood. And then some of them they affect the tissues. Yeah, some of them affect the tissue, some of them are in the intestines, something like the worms, the ringworms and the likes, they're in the intestine. So they penetrate through the food, they enter through the food we eat and all that. So that is that about the question. So I'm going to start with the bacteria that affect us every day. This particular episode is for bacteria. We're going to have episode for fungi, and then we're going to have episode for viruses. And I told you last week that what you have to pay attention to in this particular live session is to listen carefully and know how these particular bacteria are being transmitted, and also to know where they are being found. Because when you know where something is being found, when you know where something is, then you'll be able to avoid that thing, or you'll be able to take appropriate measures to make sure that you don't contract any kind of infection from that particular site. So I talked on Staphylococcus aureus last week, and I talked on Escherichia coli. The Staphylococcus aureus, I told you that you can find it on the skin, you can find it on your phones, you can find it on shared surfaces. And then I told you that it causes boils. Yes, it causes boils, and then it causes skin abscess. In case if you're just joining us for the first time, welcome to the live session. And then if you have any question, just type it in the comments and I'm going to reply you. Type it in the comments, I'm going to reply you. We are talking on bacteria that affect us every day. So if you have any question, type it in the comments and I will reply you. So still on Staphylococcus aureus, I told you that it can cause boils, it can cause skin abscess. This particular skin abscess is pores, a situation whereby you have pores in a particular area of your skin. So the symptoms associated with Staphylococcus aureus, once you have Staphylococcus aureus, you are going to experience these things I'm going to talk about now. You are going to experience redness, and this particular redness, I told you, it is because of inflammation. Once a bacteria enters your body is going to try to fight it off. So inflammation is a method of immune response. It is a method by which your body try to eliminate that particular pathogen, that particular foreign organism. That is why inflammation is going to take place. And once inflammation is taking place, there will be redness. There will be redness. So that is what happens there. Inflammation is taking place, there will be redness, and then the blood vessels are going to be widened. More blood flow will go to that particular area. Once more blood flow goes to that particular area, and then at times there is also leakage. There is also swelling. This particular swelling is because of leakage. Some things, the things that are able to fight these organisms is usually in the blood. Your blood carry a lot of fluid. it carries a lot of content. So the things that are able to fight these organisms, they are in your blood. So once your blood vessels is being widened to that particular area, if the blood vessels gets there, it will start to leak. The blood vessels will become leaky. Once they become leaky, it will be able to the content will be we enter the surrounding areas where that particular bacteria is, and then that's when you get swelling, and then you have pain. Pain could be because the swelling is affecting nerves around that area, or it could be as a result of it could be as a result of sensitivity of the pain receptors, because you are going through inflammation. So your pain receptors are going to be sensitive, something like your prostaglandin. It is going to be sensitive. So either of these reasons could result to the pain. And then you also have fever. You also have fever. Your body temperature is going to be increased. Your body temperature is going to be increased. Why? Because your body is trying to make this particular bacteria uncomfortable. It's just like if a thief enters my house now, what will I do? I'm going to off my light. I will turn off my light. Why? Because I am familiar with the surroundings of that my particular house, of my environment. I'm familiar with the surrounding, unlike the thief who is a stranger there. So the thief will stumble on something, whereas I will be okay walking in the dark. So that is why if a thief invades my house, I'm going to turn off my lights and try to fight off the thief. So if a bacteria enters your system, your body is going to increase your temperature. If your temperature were at 32 degrees Celsius, your body is going to increase your temperature. Once it is increased, it does that to make the bacteria comfortable. Do you get me? Are you guys following? I need to get
Yeah,
your reaction
we are
to be sure
following.
that you're understanding what I'm saying. And then going
Okay.
on, I talked on Escherichia coli, and I told you that Escherichia coli can be found in human stomach, in human intestine. It can be found in contaminated food and contaminated water, and then it is transmitted through fecal oral routes. Some of you, when you want to, especially the ladies, when you are done using the restroom, when you're done using your toilet, you will clean yourself from starting from the back, and then you come down to your vagina part. That's not how you wipe yourself. That's not how you clean your private parts. You wipe yourself starting from the front to the back, so that if there is anything in your stool, if there is anything in that feces that you just passed out, if anything did that shit where you don't come out, the thing no go enter your vagina back. If there is anything in your feces, you will not use it and contaminate your vagina. So you wipe yourself from the front to the back, not from the back to the front. So this particular Escherichia coli now is um is a normal intestinal human intestine. It is supposed to be in the intestine. It is healthy for the intestine. It helps it helps your body. But then there are strains of this particular Escherichia coli that is harmful. All these bacteria, they have different strains of them. So there are strains of this particular Escherichia coli that is harmful. That is why I'm telling you now that the Escherichia coli can cause you gastroenteritis. It is found in the intestine, so it can cause you gastroenteritis. It can cause you gastroenteritis. It can cause you urinary tract infection. That's what you hear. UTI. They call UTI. You go to the hospital, they'll tell you, you have UTI, urinary tract infection. The Escherichia coli can cause you urinary tract infection when um, 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 um when you transfer it from your anal side to your vagina. This is usually found in the females because it's more common in them. When you transfer it from your to your vagina, that is when it's going to cause you urinary tract infection. It is not supposed to be found in your urinary tract. So when it is where it is not supposed to be, it will be a problem there. It will be a problem then, notwithstanding the fact that it is good for your intestine. If it is found in a particular area where it is not supposed to be, it will be a problem. So that is that about Escherichia coli. And then we have the symptoms. When I tell you that something can cause you gastroenteritis. Gastroenteritis is discomfort. Yes, inflammation of the intestine. So when I tell you that something can cause you that particular this, what do you think is going to be the symptoms? if you are actually following, you are going to be going towards diarrhea. We're going to be going towards diarrhea. You'll be talking about diarrhea as one of the symptoms. We're going to be mentioning diarrhea, abdominal pain, and also dehydration. Because once you are stooling, you are losing water, you are losing fluid. So these are the symptoms of Escherichia coli. These are the symptoms associated with Escherichia coli infection. It will cause you diarrhea, it will cause you abdominal pain, and it will cause you dehydration. When you are experiencing diarrhea, you are stooling, you are defecating non-stop, defecating non-stop. Is usually watery stool. You are defecating watery stool non-stop. Persistently, you are defecating watery stool. And then as you are defecating watery stool, you are losing water in your body. And once you are defecating those watery stool, you are also losing electrolytes. So see, vomiting and diarrhea are associated in as much as they are also part of, you know, the way that our body try to regulate it, they also affect us in a very bad way. So those are the symptoms that are associated with Escherichia coli infection. We have diarrhea, we have abdominal pain, then we have dehydration. And don't forget that I said Escherichia coli is a normal flora of the intestine, but some strains some strains are pathogenic. They cause this particular infection. And then when you transfer it from your anus to your vagina, it also cause urinary tract infection. Okay, I'm seeing a question here. Let me address it before we move forward. What is the problem we get in our urinary tract? Okay, the problem we get in urinary tract. Okay, like when I was talking about Escherichia coli, I said that when ladies don't clean themselves in the using the right method, I said they should clean themselves starting from your vagina to their anus. If they want to clean themselves, you don't clean yourself from your anus, then you come up to your vagina because you are going to carry infection. You know, you're using your hand or your tissue or your wipes, whatever you're using. If you wipe it from your anus up to your vagina, definitely something is going to enter your vagina. You are going to contaminate your vagina. So that is why what is the problem we get in our urinary tract? Is UTI infection. There are a lot of UTI infection. I called it UTI infection. It is a UTI infection is a general name. It is not just a specific name for one infection. It is a general name. You could have bladder infection. You could have a bladder infection. I don't want to use the medical terms. I just want to use the terms that you could, understand, or the terms that you are familiar with. You could have bladder infections. A lot of them, a lot of them, a lot of urinary tract infection. I don't want to go into that. Probably we are going to make it a major topic sometime. And then the next on our list is salmonella. I really want to talk about salmonella. I really want to talk about it because we see it in our food, especially our poultry. A lot of us we eat chicken. We eat chicken. So this salmonella is seen in our poultry, in our eggs, in reptiles. Is usually found in undercooked food. Let me just say it. Whatever we are eating it should be well cooked, especially our chicken, our egg, the reptiles we eat. They should all be well cooked. They should be well cooked because you don't know what they feed on. It should be well cooked. So this salmonella now, they have different species of salmonella, but I am just doing a you know, knowledge stuff. So this particular salmonella now, it is transmitted by eating undercooked eggs. When you eat undercooked eggs, you don't know the one that have this particular bacteria. That is why I'm saying it can be transmitted when you eat undercooked eggs, and then it can be transmitted when you eat undercooked poultry that is nowhere done. I love my chicken half done. No they can have done. People cook it until it is well done, and then also in contaminated water, and then it can cause you typhoid. That is the organism. That is the causative organism for typhoid. Salmonella. It is the causative organism for typhoid. So when somebody say, you have typhoid, or when you go to the hospital and your lab result is showing Salmonella typhi or Salmonella paratyphi, wherever. It is typhoid. It is caused by Salmonella species. And the symptoms associated with it is fever. We know typhoid causes fever. It also causes diarrhea. It causes nausea. It causes diarrhea because it is found in your intestine. It is found in your intestine. And then it causes you nausea because at times this particular organism, it will stimulate the nerves that control vomiting. That is when you start feeling like you want to vomit. Nausea and vomiting are two different things. Nausea is a feeling of I want to vomit, and then vomiting is actually throwing up. So the symptoms associated with the salmonella is fever, diarrhea, and then nausea. Do you remember what I talked about fever when I was talking about um Staphylococcus aureus?
Nope, I can't remember.
Okay, I said
Mind
that
us.
when an organism enters your system, your body will try to make that particular organism uncomfortable. That is why at times your body temperature is usually raised. When you see somebody, you see somebody saying, "Ah, I have a headache or I have fever," fever is not a sickness, but it is a symptom that okay, there is something your body is fighting. That is why your temperature is usually raised. So it is not a sickness; it is just a way of fighting off something in your system. So do you get me now?
Yeah.
When you are experiencing fever, it is either that there is something in your body that is not supposed to be in your body, and your body is fighting it, making it uncomfortable. Fever is just all about making a particular organism uncomfortable in your system so it can live. That's why you experience fever at times. And then the diarrhea, I told you that okay, at times the intestinal cells they could be damaged, and then it will cause increased fluid secretion. That is why you have watery stool. You defecate watery stool. That's diarrhea. And then the nausea, I already told you that the inflammation will stimulate the nerve that control vomiting, and then you start feeling like vomiting. That's what happens there. And then okay, and then we have the next one, which is Helicobacter pylori. Can you guess what it is? Guess. It is a very common. It causes a very common infection. Guess. Just give me one word. Guess.
Uh,
Something that comes to your mind.
Nothing. No. I'm not, seriously nothing. Can you
Okay.
repeat that word
Very
again?
nice.
Can you
Helicobacter
repeat it again?
pylori.
Hey God, I very good. Jesus.
Thing. Something that
The kind
almost
of word
everybody is suffering from in
you
Nigeria.
medical pronounce.
Say anything. At the count of five. One, two, three,
I will bite
four,
my tongue,
and
go.
then eh?
I will bite my tongue. Helico.
Okay,
Helico.
don't worry. Let's just try it down. Let's move on. Let's move on. If you know the answer, you could just type it out in the comments. So I will see this in the comments. So I said Helicobacter pylori. What infection do you think it causes? We are just about to discuss it. What do you think Helicobacter pylori causes? H pylori. H pylori. What do you think it causes? I'm about to discuss it. Let's give a countdown of 1 to 3. 1, 2, 3, and that is it. Okay. Helicobacter pylori is the positive agent of
Mhm.
peptic ulcer. Yeah,
Okay.
peptic ulcer. Hey, anyway, ulcer. I get ulcer. I get ulcer. I no fit chop pepper. I no fit chop too much oil. I get ulcer. That is it. I no fit chop beans. All those things. That's it. So Helicobacter pylori is an organism. It is a bacteria that is found in the human stomach, and then it is transmitted through the saliva and then through contaminated food and water. Mind you, most of these things that passes through our intestine that affects, our GIT, it is usually transmitted through contaminated food and water. So one thing you have to do is to be very careful with what goes into your mouth, the kind of things you use to prepare your food. what goes into your mouth, you should be very, very careful about it. I think you should make it one of your priorities. You should be very careful of what you eat, what you consume. So, because some of these things, they are transmitted through contaminated food and water. Okay, you did not have sex with anybody, you are not a dirty person, and then you are eating something you don't know how it's been prepared. You are you are risking your life. Risking your life. So let's discuss the Helicobacter pylori. I told you that it is found in the human stomach. I said stomach this time around, not intestine. It is found in the human stomach. And then it is transmitted through saliva and through contaminated food and water. It causes gastritis and peptic ulcer disease. I said it causes gastritis and peptic ulcer disease. Okay.
Okay.
There's this thing they taught us in biology. They said your stomach has a very strong acid that if anything enters your stomach like this, your stomach is going to produce that acid, and then that acid is going to, kill that particular organism that entered your stomach. It's true. They are actually right. But you know one thing, bacteria, microorganisms, they keep on changing, they keep on adapting, they keep on mutating. That thing they told you, they always tell you that change is the only thing that is constant. It is true. It applies in this instance. Microorganisms, they keep on changing. They keep on adapting. They keep on adapting. I think that's one of the reasons why we don't have viral drugs these days. We don't have viral drugs. Okay, I'm seeing a question here. Why do bacteria always change? Bacteria change to adapt. You too, you always change. You're a human being. You're a human being.
Okay.
If sun shine you too
I was
much, you will
expecting
go
something
out of the
different.
sun. Yeah. What did you say?
I said I was expecting something different, but you said that bacteria always adapt, so they have to change.
I said yes, they always adapt. Adaptation. They always try to find a balance. It's just like, okay, you complained that your phone is not charging. Abi your charging point is faulty. I
The
believe,
charging point got spoiled.
okay, your charging point is faulty. You are going to try to
Yes.
find a way now to inhibit excessive usage of your phone. You're going to find a way to stop using your phone excessively so that your battery will last. I believe you are doing that, Abby.
Yeah.
That is adaptation. You are trying to adapt. I'm using this particular scenario to bring it closer to you so that you will get my point. Bacteria always adapt. Okay, if I stand under the sun and I know that this sun, if I stand under this sun too much, this sun can burn my skin. What will I do? I'll move away from the sun, or I will find an umbrella to, shed me from the sun. That is adaptation. Finding a way to deal with a problem is adaptation. Finding a balance, finding a way to survive, that is adaptation. Okay, I'm also seeing another question here. Does it cause blood in the stool? Yes, definitely. I'll get to that. Don't worry. I'm going to get to that. That question is a very, very nice question. Probably you must have experienced this particular H. pylori infection. Okay, adaptation. You find a way to adapt. You find a way to survive that thing you are going through. Do you get me now?
Yeah.
Okay, let's continue. I told you that our stomach have acid according to all that we've been taught while growing up in our primary school, in our secondary school. Our stomach have acid, and that particular acid is um hydrochloric acid, very concentrated, very dangerous, very corrosive. It is very, very corrosive. And then you might be asking me, why is it that, okay, this particular acid is corrosive? Why is it that it does not affect your stomach? The reason why it does not affect your stomach is because your stomach have mucus. It has like a layer that is covering it from the dangerous effects of that particular acid. So that is why the acid does not affect you. That is why the acid does not affect you, but it can affect anything that enters your stomach. That is how your food is being broken down. That acid is very corrosive. That's how your food is being broken down. Now, this particular bacteria, H. pylori, what I was talking about before is acid, the acid that your stomach produces. Once something enters your stomach, Your stomach will produce that particular acid, and then that particular acid is going to break down that particular thing. So once that thing is broken down, it's not going to be cause a problem to you again. But H. pylori, it produces it. H. pylori does not die. That particular acid cannot kill H. pylori because H. pylori produces urease, and urease is going to break down urease breaks down urea to ammonia, and that particular ammonia is going to neutralize the effect of that HCl. It is going to shield the bacteria and neutralize the effect of the acid. So that is why that particular bacteria, your stomach acid cannot kill it. So when this bacteria is there, it is going to burrow into the layer surrounding your stomach. It's as if it's going to eat the layer surrounding your stomach. If it eats the layer surrounding your stomach, that particular layer will not be there again. The particular layer will be gone. So that at times it could, and then when the acid is now being released, at other times, it is now going to affect your stomach lining. It is now going to affect your stomach, gong, gong, gong. That is when you start having blood in your stool. That question you asked now, I've answered you. That is when you will see blood in your stool. So that is that about this particular bacteria. The symptoms are abdominal pain or burning. Then you have ulcer, and then you have gastrointestinal bleeding. You will bleed because your stomach is already injured. You will bleed. So I think we are going to stop here today, and then in our subsequent classes we are going to round up. If there is any question you have, please write it down or type it out. Next week we are going to deal with them because this particular topic is very, very important to everyone of us. So we have come to the end, to the conclusion of today's session, and thank you all for joining us.
Thank you and bye.